Welcome to this episode of the Greater Phoenix Chamber's podcast, Let's Talk Business Phoenix, with me, your host, Todd Sanders, President and CEO of the Greater Phoenix Chamber. In each episode, we tackle important issues and subjects affecting our businesses, our community, and the state today. Through relevant, timely topics, this podcast serves as the business community's voice with a mission of championing business growth, identifying problems that restrict economic development, and conveying community leaders to move Phoenix forward.
Let's Talk Business Phoenix was produced in partnership with Ideas Collide, an agency offering a full suite of custom marketing solutions for your brand's unique challenges. Make a connection at ideascollide.com.
Well, welcome back to the podcast. Today we have a very special guest. We have Lynn Smith, who's a Division Vice President and General Manager at ADP. She also happens to be our incoming chair, and she'll be starting her term just in a few days. And so wanted to invite her to speak to you and for you all to get to know her a little bit. Lynn, welcome.
All right. Well, thank you, Todd. Pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Maybe just as we start, I know a lot of people know you out in the community, but maybe something about yourself that we wouldn't necessarily find on your bio or online.
Something you wouldn't find. I can walk on stilts.
Really?
Yes. I learned how to do it as a child. My grandfather built us stilts, and all the grandkids learned how to walk on stilts.
That is I think that's the most unique one I've ever heard. Can you still do it?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I can. So if anybody has any stilts, we'll give it a shot.
Well, my kid keeps growing. I might need to get some lessons through. Every time I hug him, I'm at his armpit level, and I'd like to get some more height. So
there you go.
That'd be nice.
We'll work on that.
So obviously a really great career and a lot that you do in the community, but maybe talk to us a little bit about your journey that got you to where you are today in your role.
Yeah, so I started ADP in 1994, so I celebrated my 30th anniversary a couple of weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. 3 decades. And during that time, held different roles in sales, implementation, leadership, business operations. Started my career in Orange County, California, out of our La Palma office, and moved here in 2017 when we opened one of our large locations here in Arizona, which is known as a 180p location.
Well, that's wonderful. In terms of professional or personal experiences that have impacted your career path, can you speak to that a little bit?
So I really do believe in the power of stepping outside of your comfort zone, and also the power of networking. So when I think back about times when I did step out of my comfort zone and got involved in stretch roles or stretch assignments where I had the opportunity to demonstrate, my knowledge or leadership with people who maybe I didn't regularly work with and present to maybe leaders who I hadn't met before, really gave me the opportunity to grow that brand and that network while doing something new that may not have just, naturally fallen in my wheelhouse. And, never underestimate the power of that network and the advocacy and sponsorship that network can really give you when you're thinking about career growth.
So you felt the fear, but you did it anyway.
Yep.
That's wonderful. And maybe you answered this partially, but when you other folks that are coming into the job market or into their careers, what advice would you give them as they start that path, or even maybe they're looking to make a change?
Yeah, I think it's, understand and know your strengths and really focus on those, because that's where you're going to really shine and grow. And then ensure that others around you recognize what strengths you bring.
Absolutely. So this is your 6th year on our board of directors. It's been a pleasure. We actually kept you on additional years so you could be our chair. But describe your experience at the chamber, including some of the work you did in our DEI committee.
Yeah, sure. So, the chamber really has so many amazing programs and initiatives to help the business community in the greater Phoenix area, as well as the community at large. So when we think about, what the Greater Phoenix Foundation is doing regarding workforce development, career development with high school students and underserved communities, I think just making such a great impact. And it was my honor to lead the DEI Forum for a couple of years, and am thrilled that the chamber was, able to provide a forum for businesses to really come together and have a place where they can connect about DEI initiatives, share best practices with each other, learn from each other. And when we think about the toolkit And the toolkit is being a resource for businesses, no matter where they are on the DEI continuum, to have that resource available to help support them. And the fact that the Chamber has been recognized nationally and won an award for the DEI toolkit, I think is just so exceptionally, representation of what the Chamber can really bring. And I know the Chamber made a conscious decision to offer it to other chambers who were asking about it, at no charge. And I think that really demonstrates, the not only the power, but how this chamber really leans in and leads, with all chambers and helping support other chambers with DEI in their communities.
Well, and it does speak to the leadership component, given the fact that it was almost entirely done by members of the board and the executive committee, which tells you that there was a lot of skin in the game.
Yeah, you had a lot of businesses come together and share their best practices to create that toolkit.
So obviously it's been a big year. What are some of the things that you believe we've accomplished this year and this fiscal year, and actually going into the next fiscal, what are some of the things that you're going to prioritize as our chair?
Yeah, so when I think about, I mentioned the programs and initiatives that the Chamber offers to businesses, whether it be the Economic Outlook Forum, every year, which I think is such a great way for businesses to really get that lens of what's going on in the economy, both nationally and locally. Programs that we do for women, the Power Women Alliance, and then also the Athena Awards, where we recognize women in the community who give back and really make an impact.
It's an amazing program.
Which I think is fantastic. Valley Young Professionals, which is really creating, and helping grow that next generation of leaders in the Valley. Economics Insight Dashboard that was just launched recently, that is just such a wealth of information around the economy, housing, workforce, in the greater Phoenix area. And then, of course, everything that the foundation is doing with Elevate Ed and Connect to Work and growing the workforce. I mean, just so many amazing accomplishments for the Chamber, and really exciting that as we go into 2025, really looking for ways that we can have more business involvement in all of those initiatives, because we have such a great foundation on some of them, and just grow them into more impactful programs in the Valley.
Well, we're a finalist for Chamber of the Year, and I think I would just like to take that video and say, here you go. Here's why we should be Chamber of the Year. So, I think one of the things that I find interesting is how members of the business community, leaders in the business community, see this chamber. From your perspective, why is it important to be a member, and what do you get out of it?
So, I'm very passionate about getting involved, and when we think about the way that what the Chamber does really does advance not only the business community, but our community at large. I think, one of the things that's important is having businesses really lean in and help support and get involved in a lot of these programs. So what I'm really excited about is even more participation, which I know we have a lot of interest from the business community in the areas that, that the Chamber is focused on, because with that, the Chamber really does help create pathways for businesses to be successful and thrive in the Valley.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we're certainly looking forward to a great end of this year and a terrific next fiscal year with your leadership and that of the board. All right, Lynn. Well, thank you for being here today. We really appreciate you taking the time. I can't let you go without doing a lightning round, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay. All right, first job.
First job. So my first official job was with ADP. However, growing up, spent summers on my grandfather's farm, and I picked raspberries and cherries, and we sold them. So I was out and picking raspberries and cherries. And
what'd you learn?
Yeah, I learned that you have to pick a lot of cherries to make $2.
Yes, I can only imagine. And then of course there's the loss from eating them probably along the way.
Yes, we ate a lot. Yes, we ate a lot of raspberries and cherries, and the dog used to eat a lot of them too.
I'm sure the dog was pleased. Excellent. Okay, and we'll finish up with first car.
First car was it was a Saturn, which I don't even know if they make anymore.
They don't, but those were cool cars. Yes. And actually, I have one more. Okay. First concert.
First concert, U2.
All right. Well, that's very respectable. That was my first concert as well.
Oh, yeah.
Well, second, but close enough.
Where did you see yours?
Tampa.
Oh, Tampa. Okay.
In Florida.
I was in
my
LA.
first was Journey, but I like to say U2. Well, thank you for spending the time with us
Thank
today.
you.
Thanks for all that you've done with the Chamber and for the Chamber in our community, and we'll look forward to a very successful next year.
Yep, looking forward to it. Thanks,
Awesome.
Todd.
Thank you.